This page is the dramatic cover of Saturn Fan Magazine, featuring a prominent soldier, tanks, and aircraft, highlighting the lead story, Advanced World War. The cover teases a major scoop on this strategy game, revealing secret information about Germany's Third Empire ahead of its release, and promises a panorama data poster. Also heavily featured are strategies for Neon Genesis, Evangelion Second Impression, and Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story. 2-1. The Slaves of the Gigan. A special feature delves into Chunsoft's acclaimed sound novel Mashai, including an interview. The cover proudly announces a first scoop rush, showcasing exciting upcoming titles. These include the intense mech shooter Valhark, the iconic scrolling shooter Thunder Force V, and the unique dating sim Kyan Kyan Bunny Extra. Other notable games listed include the fighting games Last Bronx and Cyberbots, the puzzle game Sakura Wars Columns, the strategy RPG Langrisser IV, and the fighting game Groove on Fight. The magazine also features a collection of valuable game CD jacket art from major titles like Virtua On and Tengai Makyo. This issue, dated March 28, 1997, is packed with previews, strategies, and scoops on the hottest Saturn releases. This page features a warm-up puzzle on the left, challenging your brain with a maze connecting different sports and hobbies like baseball, motorcycles, and soccer, suggesting these are themes you'll encounter. On the right, the page presents previews of exciting upcoming Sega Saturn sports and racing titles. First up is Greatest 997, a baseball game promising to let you become a hero on the field, showcasing gameplay and stadium selection. Below that is Manx TT Superbike, the definitive motorcycle racing game based on the legendary Manx TT race, highlighting intense skill-based gameplay with action shots. Finally, J-League Victory Goal 97 gets the spotlight, offering a complete simulation of the 97 J-League season, where strategic thinking and technique are key to victory. This soccer title supports up to 4 players with a multi-tap. The page also includes a small section about the Sega Saturn console itself. This page features a bold and minimalist advertisement for the Sega Saturn game Real Sound from developer Warp. The visual design is split, with the left side in black showcasing the word real and a barcode graphic, while the right side is lighter with the word sound and prominent braille text. The key message is clear. Real Sound is a completely new kind of game, an interactive story played entirely through sound with no visuals. The advertisement announces its arrival on the Sega Saturn in the summer of 1997, highlighting its unique audio-only experience. This page is the table of contents for the magazine, featuring a prominent preview of the upcoming Sega Saturn title, Breakpoint. On the left, the game is showcased as a full polygon real tennis game, promising the excitement of the center court. It highlights the use of motion capture to recreate realistic steps, shots, and overall player movements, emphasizing that everything feels real. Screenshots illustrate the gameplay and character models, and the text mentions features like realistic ball physics and support for up to 4 players. Breakpoint was scheduled for release in May at a price of 6,800 yen, and was even nominated for the SEGA Grand Prize, 96, indicating it was highly anticipated. The right side lists the magazine's contents. Key features include a look at the game Machi, a Sega Saturn shooting selection focusing on Thunder Force V and Bulk Slash, and a scoop on Kyan Kyan Bunny Extra. There's a Sega power-up report covering games like Last Bronx, Hanagumi Taisen Columns, Manx TT Superbike, Advanced World War, Millennium of Chaos, and Pro Baseball Greatest 997. Other sections cover games like Langrisser IV, Cyberbots, Quo Vadis 2, and strategy guides for Neon Genesis Evangelion and Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 2i. The magazine also includes a large section for new game releases and various regular columns covering impressions, fan feedback, and industry news. A special appendix features a panorama data poster for Advanced World War and collectible CD jacket designs. This page features a major report on Chunsoft's upcoming sound novel, Machi, for the Sega Saturn, titled Cover Story. Watching the lives of 8 people living in the city of Shibuya from a god's eye view, the article highlights the game's ambitious scope as the 3rd entry in Chunsoft's acclaimed sound novel series. Set entirely in Shibuya and utilizing live-action footage, Machi features an immense amount of content packed onto 2 creeds, including a staggering 6,000 real photos and over 400 characters. The scenario writing alone took 5 years. The game explores the interconnected lives of 8 protagonists from a unique perspective, allowing players to experience their stories, which sometimes intertwine. The article also includes a report from the game's press conference, where key figures from Chunsoft and Sega Saturn discussed the project's development and its concept, including the long-term goal of a 100 protagonist system. This Saturn title is positioned as the first step toward realizing that grand vision, promising an evolution for the sound novel genre with its unprecedented scale and real-world setting. Screenshots throughout the page showcase the live-action visuals and various dramatic scenes from the game. This page dives deeper into the world of Machi, highlighting one of its 8 main protagonists, Keima Amamiya, a 25-year-old detective. The article profiles Keima, known as the Otaku Detective, focusing on his unique personality and his role in the game's narrative. Keima is presented as a young police detective in the Shibuya Central Police Station, skilled with computers and a noted gamer. His main storyline involves investigating a disturbing bomb threat targeting Shibuya, which is broadcast via an outdoor television screen. This investigation leads him through the streets of Shibuya, the setting for the entire game. Screenshots show Keima in various situations relevant to his story arc, enjoying a drink on a street corner, clashing with his superior officer, looking intense in an arcade setting, hinting at his gaming skills, and reacting dramatically to something unseen. The page also introduces other potential characters and plotlines, including a mysterious female character possibly acting as his partner, a high school girl, and hints of a potential love story subplot. The article emphasizes that while Keima's bomb threat story is central, the game features 7 other protagonists whose stories run concurrently and may intersect, promising a complex, multi-layered narrative experience in the heart of Shibuya. This page presents an interview with the core development team behind Machi for the Sega Saturn, delving into the creation of this unique sound novel. The developers, including the game designer and director, discuss the ambitious undertaking of bringing the genre to the Saturn and utilizing real-life photography to depict Shibuya. They explain the immense scale of the project, revealing that over 6,000 photos were taken on location across Shibuya to create the game's visuals. The interview touches upon the challenges faced during the extensive photo shoots, highlighting the difficulty in capturing specific scenes and the sheer volume of work involved, comparable to filming a TV drama or movie. A fascinating aspect discussed is the game's structure, featuring 8 interconnected protagonists whose stories subtly influence one another. The developers emphasize how the smallest actions by one character can have ripple effects across the narratives of others, creating a complex, evolving story web. Finally, the article mentions a unique fan participation element, a contest where players could submit their own photos taken from Print Club, Purikura, photo booths, to potentially appear in the game as extra characters or images, further blurring the lines between the game world and reality. This page gives valuable insight into the technical and narrative ambitions behind Machi, emphasizing its groundbreaking use of real visuals and intricate storytelling. This page spotlights Thunder Force V for the Sega Saturn, marking a significant evolution for the classic shooting game series. The article emphasizes the game's transition to 3D polygon graphics while striving to maintain the fast-paced feel of its 2D predecessors. It highlights how dynamic camera work is used to enhance the sense of depth and spectacle. The new player ship, the RVRO-1 Gauntlet, is showcased with detailed CG renders, illustrating its updated design. The page includes early development images of Thunder Force V's visuals, contrasting them with a screenshot from the Mega Drive title, Thunder Force IV, to demonstrate the leap in graphical presentation and the redesigned screen layout. The return of this beloved series on the Saturn is presented with anticipation. This page delves further into Thunder Force V, detailing 2 new gameplay systems designed to enhance the action. The Overweapon, providing temporary powerful shots by collecting option items called Crow, and the High Tempo bonus, rewarding players with high scores for rapid enemy destruction. The article also notes changes to returning weapons like the Twin Shot and Wave Shot, showcasing their updated visual effects. Intriguing character design sketches are revealed, hinting at the return of characters from previous Thunder Force titles, possibly with revised looks. Potential boss character concepts are previewed, described as powerful and varied. The iconic ship, the RVRO-2 Rhinex, is also featured, prompting the question of whether it's the same model from Thunder Force IV or a new iteration, noting subtle design differences. Early development stages are shown, including a base interior resembling a boss from Thunder Force IV's desert stage, and a sea stage featuring a large polygon-rendered boss. The article explicitly states that the game's stages and characters are only about 20% complete, assuring players that the quality of the CG graphics will significantly improve before release. This page dives into Bulk / a 3D shooting selection title for the Saturn from Hudson's original development team. The game tasks players with stopping a planetary destruction plot in fully 3D environments, where you can move freely on the ground and in the air. Your mech can transform between a robot form and a battle machine form, and strategically switching between these is key to success, considering the terrain and enemy placement. The page highlights the importance of monitoring your status via the screen interface, which includes a radar showing enemy positions, a weapon gauge for your currently equipped weapon, a shield gauge indicating remaining protection, and a speed meter visible in flight form. The robot form is emphasized for its high attack power, featuring weapons like rifles, bombs, and a saber for close combat. The battle machine form, conversely, excels in mobility and speed, utilizing weapons like lasers and homing missiles, effective against multiple weaker enemies. Giant enemy weapons are also previewed, presenting formidable challenges that require careful planning and utilizing your mech's transformation to exploit weaknesses. The game is noted to be 60% complete at the time of this feature. This page delves deeper into Bulk / highlighting its unique advisor-partner navigation system, which supports your combat efforts. You start with one navigator, but more become available as you progress through stages. Before each stage, you choose who will navigate for you, and they level up, offering better combat reports as they grow. A screenshot shows the navigator's face overlaid on the gameplay screen. The page also introduces some of the female characters who appear as navigators or support the player, along with photos of the voice actors who brought them to life. The voice actors shared comments about playing the game themselves. Featured here are the characters and their respective voice actors. Rubia, voiced by Sakurai Matsui, Kohlensteiner, voiced by Yuko Mizuno, Rila Hart, voiced by Etsuko Hikawa, and the protagonist, Cress Dolly, voiced by Takehito Koyasu. Finally, the page features an interview with the development director, Mitsuaki Kadomon. He discusses the game's concept as a 3D shooting game, with elements of character growth via the navigation system, emphasizing the dramatic story of saving a future star from an alien threat. He talks about making the game approachable, while still offering depth and challenging boss fights. Kadomon also mentions incorporating hidden elements and features that provide replayability and reward players for exploring the game world beyond the main objective. The voice actors also give their impressions on playing the game, adding another layer to the feature. This page brings exciting news for fans of the Nanpa or pickup game genre, with the announcement that the highly acclaimed Can Can Bunny Extra, considered a masterpiece of the series, is being ported to the Sega Saturn. This title, featuring the energetic goddess Swati, allows players to connect with various girls and pursue romantic relationships, utilizing a system similar to Premiere 2, where you navigate a map to gather information and interact with characters. The page features striking illustrations of key characters, including Swati and other attractive girls from the game, hinting at the kind of encounters players can expect. The port is slated for release this autumn, and the announcement also teases a reader participation project in collaboration with Kid, making this release one to keep an eye on for fans of the series. This page dives deeper into the world introduced on the previous page, focusing on characters who could potentially form relationships with the protagonist in Can Can Bunny Extra. Several potential heroines are introduced, including a dedicated nurse, a driven magazine editor, an event companion, an aspiring manga artist, a reserved returning student, and a designer's daughter, each with unique personalities and backstories. The main highlight is a massive reader participation project, the Heroine Additional Audition. Sega Saturn Fan and Kid are collaborating to bring two popular characters from Premiere 2 into a new scenario for Extra based on fan votes. Readers are presented with 6 distinct candidates from Premiere 2, each with a portrait and brief description, ranging from quiet and reliable types to more dynamic and competitive personalities. Fans are encouraged to vote for their favorites via postcard, with the top 2 characters earning a spot in the game's expanded content. This project emphasizes the developer's interaction with the fanbase and adds exciting replayability to the Extra release. This page provides an exciting update on the Sega Saturn port of Last Bronx, Tokyo Bangaichi, confirming that development is progressing smoothly. The article introduces 2 dynamic characters making their debut, the nunchaku-wielding Yusaku Kudo, known as Neo Soul, and the sai-fighting Nagi Ikaruga, codenamed Dogma. Several screenshots are featured, showcasing these characters in action, highlighting the accuracy of the character models, and motion capture data ported directly from the arcade version. The developers emphasize their dedication to faithfully recreating the intricate fighting styles, particularly noting the complexity of Yusaku's nunchaku movements and Nagi's precise side techniques. This report confirms that the Saturn version is shaping up to be a high-quality conversion, maintaining the intense 3D weapon-based combat that defined the arcade experience. The article teases further character reveals in future reports, building anticipation for the final release. This page dives into the highly anticipated puzzle game, Sakura Wars Columns, showcasing how it blends the beloved Sakura Wars universe with classic puzzle action. It features detailed insights into the story mode, highlighting individual character scenarios for the entire Flower Division cast, including Sakura, Iris, Sumire, Kuran, Maria, and Kana. A key feature discussed is the integration of the LIPS, Live Interactive Picture System, choices from the main Sakura Wars series. Your decisions during story segments influence your trust level with the characters, impacting the difficulty and outcomes of the puzzle battles. The page shows examples of the battle mode, where you face off against opponents in puzzle challenges, and the standard puzzle mode. The presentation is a major focus, with screenshots demonstrating dynamic character animations during battles and elegant winning poses. The adorable chibi versions of the characters appearing on the screen add a touch of charm. Mini-story summaries are provided for each character, giving a taste of the unique scenarios players will experience, like Iris turning detective or Kuran trying to enjoy a day off. This game looks like a fantastic way to experience new stories with the Flower Division, while enjoying some challenging puzzle gameplay. This page features a thorough look at the high-speed motorcycle racer, Manx TT Superbike, on the Sega Saturn. It highlights the various aspects of the game, focusing on the Saturn port's specific features. A significant addition for the Saturn is the unlockable Superbike mode. By completing races in the Challenge mode, players gain access to extremely high-performance motorcycles. This mode is designed to push players to their limits, as the enemy riders are also powered up to match the player's bike, requiring precise handling and strategic racing. The page checks out the performance of the three main superbikes available: the Suzuki GSX-R 750 in both red and blue liveries, and the Honda RVFRC 45, noting their differences in top speed, acceleration, and handling. It also touches upon essential racing techniques, like drafting behind opponents and strategically bumping rivals to gain an advantage, crucial skills for success on the demanding Manx TT course. Adding to the game's charm, the quirky and popular Sheep mode from the arcade version is confirmed to be included in the Saturn release, promising some unique and humorous races. There's also a small news blurb about a strategy guide video released for Sakura Wars. This page delves into the complex strategy game, Advanced World War, Millennium of War, a title that evolves the lineage of the classic Dai Senryaku series. The report focuses on how this game deviates from traditional war simulations, introducing new systems for a more realistic battlefield experience. A significant change is the revamped Zone of Control (ZOC) system. Enemy units now impede movement if adjacent, unless your unit possesses specific ZOC abilities. Another key addition is the FPW system, representing fuel, power, or will, which affects unit capabilities and is consumed by actions and damage, adding a layer of resource management. Air units see a major transformation, operating in their own airspace and influencing ground combat differently, emphasizing their psychological impact and the importance of air superiority. Beyond the deep campaign mode chronicling historical events, the game shines in its standard mode, supporting up to 4 players for varied multiplayer matches, offering exciting head-to-head strategy. The page also highlights a detailed unit encyclopedia, where players can examine unit performance and even customize their appearance. A selection of the 10 available standard maps are previewed, showcasing different sizes, historical contexts, and difficulty levels, offering diverse challenges for players. Screenshots illustrate the strategic map, unit details, battle scenes, and the game's menu interface, emphasizing the detailed simulation aspects. This page details the power-up updates in the edit mode and pitching system for Pro Yakyu Greatest 997. Building upon the well-received system of the previous game, new elements have been added, significantly evolving gameplay. The edit mode allows players to create their own original players and build personalized teams. You can customize everything from the team name, home stadium, flag, and uniform colors to individual player attributes like name, position, throwing and batting style, physical build, height, and even personality traits using keywords. This depth of customization is a fan favorite, letting players create dream teams or even add themselves to the game world. The pitching system has seen a major overhaul to enhance strategic depth. There are now many more pitch types, allowing for complex mind games with the batter. The new marker display enables incredibly subtle pitch control, letting pitchers aim for specific spots within the strike zone, even just half a ball's width. The game clearly shows which pitches a pitcher is good or bad at, adding another layer of strategic decision-making. The strike zone display is also more informative, showing not just the zone, but also the batter's hot and cold zones, making pitch location even more critical. These changes make pitching a nuanced battle of wits. This page features a detailed look at the upcoming romance simulation game, Photogenic. Described as a sweet and poignant love simulation, the game puts players in the role of a freelance cameraman who must deepen his relationships with three main heroines while capturing their essence on film for a photo contest. The page showcases the game's charming character designs and offers a first public look at stunning visuals from the opening movie. These images highlight the beauty and charm of the girls the protagonist will interact with throughout the game. The three prominent heroines introduced are Hojo Ayano, Orihara Izumi, and Sakurai Manami, each depicted with distinct looks and expressions in various scenes, from summer beaches to winter landscapes. Screenshots illustrate different moments, hinting at the variety of events and settings players will encounter. The game was planned for release on Sega Saturn, PlayStation, and PC. This page continues the deep dive into Photogenic, detailing its core gameplay systems and introducing supporting characters. The basic system is laid out, revealing a one-year time frame simulated week by week. Players manage a weekly schedule, balancing mandatory work like photography practice, with free action days to interact with the girls and earn money. Success depends on raising parameters and the girl's affection. The game features event scenes with dialogue choices that impact affection, and photography events where you capture moments. Taking good photos requires high affection, appropriate scenery, and the right expression. The page emphasizes the rich variety of events, expressions, and seasonal costumes the girls will showcase. You see screenshots of different locations and interactions, including a girl visiting the player's room. Capturing natural expressions is key to creating great photos and deepening romantic relationships. Examples are shown of girls posing in different settings, like under cherry blossoms or in the snow. Beyond the three main heroines, the page introduces several supporting characters. These include rivals, helpers, and others who interact with the protagonists, adding depth to the world and challenges to the player's quest. Characters like the rival photographer, a nurse, and a journalist are shown, hinting at various subplots. The visuals continue to impress, showcasing detailed character art and evocative scene illustrations across different seasons. This page delivers a special report on Daizenryaku Strong Style, hailed as the pinnacle of modern war simulation. The article details how the game fully simulates contemporary combat, retaining the series' core system while incorporating PC expertise and new features for the Saturn. Players deploy units like fighter jets and tanks, capturing cities and airfields strategically. The game boasts a sophisticated AI for more detailed strategies, taking terrain and unit stats into account with an 8-directional attack system. 2 map types are available: sprawling world maps for campaigns across large continents, and single maps for shorter, diverse scenarios, ranging from simple to highly challenging, including real-world locations like Kyushu and the Iberian Peninsula. 10 nations are playable, including Japan, the USA, Russia, and Germany, each with unique production types and units influencing strategy. A significant highlight is the powerful battle scenes, rendered with PC-like graphics in Hires mode. The game also includes a comprehensive weapon database, featuring around 200 unit types, allowing players to view 3D models and learn about modern military hardware like the stealth bomber. The article notes, new elements are continuously being revealed, promising a rich experience with features like an edit mode and helpful functions for beginners. Langrisser 4's battle system receives significant upgrades, allowing players to view character status in real time, control mercenary actions precisely, movement, attack, magic, healing, and utilize a judgment system affecting action order. A detailed magic resistance system, incorporating icons for 8 elemental/conceptual attributes, deepens strategic combat. Event scenes with character dialogue and voice acting For some characters, enhanced storytelling. The game introduces several new characters, including General Serena, McLean, and Lanford, and explores the backstories of Randius and Rachel. The report concludes, Langrisser IV offers a significantly improved and engaging gameplay experience. This page features a deep dive into Seikai Rishiden, a unique political simulation game where you aim to become Japan's prime minister. The article prominently features former Prime Minister Morihiro Hosokawa, who supervised the game, lending it an air of realism. The game uses a board game-style map where players move around, encountering various political events inspired by actual happenings up to 1996. You start by aiming to become a Diet member, navigating election campaigns, dealing with scandals, and making political decisions on different maps representing stages of a political career. Screenshots show character status screens, election results, and event choices that affect your rise or fall. The core gameplay revolves around making choices that determine your political path, with the goal of reaching the top office. It's presented as a way for players to experience the dynamic and often challenging world of Japanese politics firsthand. The article highlights the detailed events and the challenge of surviving the political landscape. This page is a comprehensive guide and analysis for the Sega Saturn adventure game, Neon Genesis Evangelion Second Impression. It focuses on key points players should know, and specifically breaks down the scenario featuring the transfer student, Mayumi Yamagishi, who is prominently displayed on the page. The article explains that the game features multiple branching scenarios and encourages players to replay to see them all. It highlights hidden bonus content that unlocks as your achievement rate increases, including viewing a flyer from the previous game, seeing Asuka's graffiti corrected by Misato, and a 3D model viewer for Evangelions and Angels that lets you observe them from different angles. General scenario making advice is offered, emphasizing that there's no traditional game over. Instead, losing a battle leads to a specific, worst scenario. The article assures players that winning battles isn't overly difficult, but suggests experiencing a loss at least once to see this unique ending path. A detailed reading replay section walks through a pivotal moment in Mayumi's storyline, describing Shinji's thoughts after a battle and his encounter with Mayumi the next morning, culminating in her sudden collapse on the way to school. The page features various screenshots showing gameplay scenes with Shinji, Asuka, Rei, and Mayumi, illustrating the moments described in the text. The guide continues on the next page. This page continues the comprehensive guide for Neon Genesis Evangelion Second Impression, focusing on how branching paths and unlockable content are tied to replayability. It emphasizes that playing the game multiple times is key to experiencing all the scenarios, with new branches appearing on your second playthrough and beyond. The guide highlights specific events like a solo sortie for Unit 01 in the first battle, and details scenarios such as Asuka Strikes, which involves a humorous interaction with Asuka by the pool that appears after the third play. Another branch detailed is To Nerve Headquarters, also unlocking from the third playthrough, offering different dialogue options and interactions with Rei. The page also delves into character-specific story arcs, covering Shinji's decision to become the vocalist for a band with Tuji and Kensuke, and a significant section titled Mayumi's Heart, exploring Mayumi's psychological depth and the trauma she carries from her past, presented with striking visual metaphors reminiscent of the TV series. The guide concludes this section by touching upon the return of an apostle attack during the cultural festival, and a pivotal moment between Shinji and Mayumi amidst the chaos and repairs of Unit 01. This page presents a strategy guide for Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 2-1, Encounters in the Jungle, a 3D shooting game. It explains how achieving the best ending requires obtaining an A evaluation on all stages. The guide details the evaluation system, which is based on a total score, influenced by battle performance and damage taken. A significant focus is placed on minimizing damage, as even small percentages heavily impact the final score. The page also provides combat tips, highlighting effective tactics like securing enemy kills to earn points and assisting allied units, which grants a substantial score bonus for each survivor. Specific mobile suits appearing in the game, the MS-06 Zaku variations, are shown with screenshots. Techniques like the quick turn for rapid targeting and the effective rifle-to-beam saber combo are also demonstrated with accompanying images. This page continues the strategy guide for the Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story series, focusing now on Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 2-1, Prisoners in the Desert. It breaks down strategies for two distinct missions, Stage 2, the Prelude to Pursuit, and Stage 3, a battle within a space colony. Stage 2 is highlighted as having high difficulty, demanding rapid and decisive action. The key is quick enemy destruction while protecting allied units and information facilities, which yield significant score bonuses if they survive. Players are advised to initially ignore the large DOM units and focus fire on the more numerous Zaku 2 enemies. The guide then moves to Stage 3, set in a cramped space colony. Here, the strategy shifts to controlled movement and securing advantageous combat locations in narrow passages. The reviewer emphasizes luring enemies to areas where backdashing and saber attacks are effective. Fighting in tight corridors requires opening with the rifle and following up with the saber after a hit. A specific tip suggests saving the powerful chest missile for bazooka-type Zakus. The page also briefly touches upon a common game mechanic: enemy invincibility frames after being knocked down, advising players to time attacks for when enemies are just starting to stand up. The maps for both stages are included, showing key enemy and allied positions. Appearing mobile suits for these stages include various Zaku 2 models, including a commander type, and DOM units, with accompanying images and summarized combat data. This strategy guide for Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 2-1, Tyrant in the Frost, covers missions 4 and 5. Mission 4, The Truth of Exam, requires spreading forces and prioritizing Zaku destruction before Gelgoose. Hit-and-run tactics with rifle and saber attacks, plus missile usage, are advised. Destroying buildings also earns points. Mission 5, The Condemned, emphasizes observing enemy movement and using the beam rifle effectively in space, attacking immediately, and utilizing jump and dash maneuvers. Timing attacks and evasions is key, as enemies become invulnerable after multiple hits, requiring a switch to saber attacks. Allied units and obstacles should be used to your advantage. The guide also touches on simulator mode, where fighting a Muro-Ray requires strategies similar to those used against the Blue Destiny Unit 2, emphasizing observation, beam rifle usage, and saber follow-ups. This page features an advertisement for the classic visual novel, Kakusei, developed by Elf. The prominent title in red characters anchors the left side of the page, with the tagline, "I want to convey the throbbing of my heart to you," spread across the top. The page showcases a variety of scattered images, which are character CGs, and scenes from the game, highlighting the diverse cast of heroines and hinting at different emotional and romantic moments, including a kiss, and even a dramatic confrontation. On the right side, a large illustration depicts a key female character in a school uniform, looking up and shielding her eyes against a warm, atmospheric background. Release information confirms it's a Sega Saturn title, launched on April 25, 1997, priced at 7,800 yen, and notably released on a substantial 3 quadram set. An 18+ age restriction indicates the mature nature of the content. This is a well-known entry in the Bishoujo game genre, recognized for its character design and multiple story paths. This page features a spread promoting 2 upcoming SNK titles. On the left, we see the classic run-and-gun arcade hit, Metal Slug, Super Vehicle 001, making its way to the Sega Saturn. The page highlights the iconic tank itself, along with character designs and action-packed in-game screenshots. A key detail mentioned is that this port requires the expansion RAM cartridge for the Sega Saturn, ensuring a faithful transition of the fast-paced gameplay. The right side is dedicated to Shinsetsu Samurai Spirit's Bushido Retsuden, known internationally as Samurai Showdown RPG. This is a significant departure for the fighting game series, presenting fan-favorite characters like Haomaru and Nakoru in a traditional role-playing game format set in the Edo period. The tagline, "There are as many stories as there are souls," suggests a rich narrative experience. Screenshots show the game's overhead exploration view and battle scenes. Both games were featured at the Tokyo Game Show '97 spring, and Samurai Showdown RPG is noted for release on Neo Geo CD, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn platforms. This page introduces Batoruba, also known as Vatsulva, a unique competitive armored car action game hitting the Sega Saturn. It's framed as an unprecedented entrance exam for the private Batoruba Academy, where 15 elite characters clash for victory. Players can engage in a 12-player scenario mode, or jump into intense multiplayer battles supporting up to 6 players in 2v2 or 3v3 team formats, though you'll need a multi-tap for games with more than 2 participants. What sets Batoruba apart is the deep customization, allowing players to tweak everything from the engine and tires to armor and weapons. With a staggering selection of 60 different weapons, including devastating options like black hole bullets and wave cannons, The strategic possibilities are vast. The page showcases character illustrations, vehicle designs, and gameplay screenshots depicting the chaotic action. The character art is handled by manga artist Yuichi Yokoyama, while the BGM features contributions from acclaimed composers Kodai Sato and Ryo Kawashima, promising a high-quality audio experience. A separate panel highlights a dedicated VCD player accessory that brings the game's opening movie to life with clear video, adding to the presentation. Get ready for some explosive vehicular combat. This page features two distinct titles from Jaleco. On the left, we see Fantasy Step, described as a love and courage fantastic story. It features a unique concept, where your thoughts weave the narrative, presented through an interactive book. The page shows screenshots from the game within the pages of the book, and a 3D rendered character looking on. This title is hitting both Sega Saturn and PlayStation simultaneously in April for 5,800 yen. On the right is The Game Paradise, a popular arcade shooting game making its way to Sega Saturn, illustrated by Tatsuya Suma. The artwork features a colorful cast of anime characters alongside a cool robot. The Saturn port boasts exciting enhancements over the arcade version, including support for vertical or horizontal screen modes for a perfect port experience, plus an arrange mode with brand new stages. They've powered up the roster, increasing playable characters and voice actors, added new music tracks, and included voice conversations between stages. A limited Gokuraku pack, featuring an exclusive 60-minute original animation video, is also available alongside the standard game release, priced differently. The page also mentions a chance to win signed greeting cards from the voice cast. The Game Paradise is slated for a May release on Sega Saturn. This page features a captivating visual collage of photographs in a film roll style, centered around the phrase, Konami de Mode, which seems to be a stylish thematic presentation rather than a game title itself. The images feature models or characters in various artistic poses and settings, including urban landscapes and natural environments. Konami showcases its Sega Saturn lineup, highlighting a mix of new and recently released titles. Featured new releases include Sexy Parodius and Jikyo Oshibari Parodius Forever With Me, bringing more vibrant, comedic shooting action to the console. Police Knots, the acclaimed interactive cinema adventure, is also highlighted as a large-capacity 3-disc release. For strategy fans, Issei Meijin 2 offers strategic shogi gameplay, while Henry Explorers provides adventure shooting. The popular Tokimeki Memorial series gets a variety release with Tokimeki Memorial Selection, Shiori Fujisaki. The page also lists several titles already available on Sega Saturn, including the core Tokimeki Memorial Forever With You in Deluxe and Special Editions, both popular romance simulations. Classic shooting action is present with Gradius Deluxe Pack and Datana Twinbee Yahoo! Deluxe Pack. The renowned cyberpunk adventure snatcher is listed as a must-play title. Sports fans can enjoy Power Pros 95, and puzzle enthusiasts can dive into Tokimeki Memorial Puzzle Dama and Chibi Maruko-chan Puzzle Dama. The rest of the page contains information about Konami's offices, event appearances, and campaigns. This page is a split advertisement featuring two distinct Sega Saturn titles. On the left, Konami presents Henry Explorers, an adventure shooting game available on both PlayStation and Sega Saturn. The dramatic imagery of A Skull and Bones highlights the game's theme of exploring dangerous ruins, confronting monsters, and seeking treasure, emphasizing its compatibility with gun controllers for an immersive shooting experience. The page confirms its release on March 7th for 5,800 yen and includes gameplay screenshots. Minor details include information about a Konami campaign and their presence at Tokyo Game Show 97 Spring. The right side showcases Free Talk Studio by Media Entertainment, a unique radio DJ simulation game for the Sega Saturn. This title is described as a new sensation simulation, where players can create their own imaginary radio programs using simple controls. A key feature is the full voice acting and inclusion of original songs, performed by Mariko Kuda. The visual features an anime character representing the game's concept, alongside photographs of the voice cast and personalities involved. Free Talk Studio was released on May 9th for 5,800 yen. And also mentions exhibiting at Tokyo Game Show 97 Spring. This page is a double feature showcasing upcoming Sega Saturn titles. On the left, we have Grand Red from Bampresto. This is a simulation game set in space, described as a thrilling space fleet experience. The artwork suggests large-scale ship combat and tactical elements. Screenshots show a strategic view of ships in space and a character portrait. It was released in April 1997 for 5,800 yen. On the right, Data East Polystar presents Dragon Master Silk. This is a vibrant 3D comical RPG featuring distinct anime character designs. The story centers around a 14-year-old named Silk, who suddenly becomes a hero and embarks on an adventure with companions. Key features mentioned include digital animation exceeding 60 minutes, extensive dungeons, and an auto-mapping system to aid navigation. The page highlights the voice cast and details limited edition bonuses like character stickers. Dragon Master Silk was released on March 21, 1997, priced at 6,800 yen. This page presents two distinct upcoming Sega Saturn experiences. On the left, we have the deep-sea battleship, Shin Kaitei Gunkan, a near-future simulation game set in the year 20XX. Humanity is on the brink against a relentless assault by giant UFOs. Your weapon against this overwhelming force is a massive, advanced battleship. The game is described as a thrilling deep-sea fleet simulation, focusing on strategic combat in a dire future setting. It features character and mechanical designs by notable artists and was released in April 1997. Featured on the right is Monster Slider from DAT Japan. This is a unique slide puzzle action game, where the core mechanic involves sliding blocks using the L and R buttons to create chain reactions. The page emphasizes the satisfying feeling of the sliding action and how easy it is to pick up, making it enjoyable even for newcomers. The game features anime characters and a vibrant, somewhat gothic aesthetic. Monster Slider was released on March 28, 1997, and includes a present campaign for buyers. It's a fast-paced puzzle game built around creating massive combos. This page is split between an adventure game promotion and an internet service advertisement. On the left is Digital Ange SS, a turn-of-the-century beautiful girl adventure game for the Sega Saturn. It highlights dramatic mech action sequences where angels and demon beasts clash in their mechanical mounts. The game features a multi-story structure with different endings influenced by player choices. It boasts a lavish voice cast, including prominent names like Kikuko Inoue and Yui Horii, among others. Slated for a late May release at a tentative price of 5,800 yen, it's an Alages title, focusing on narrative and combat. The right side is an advertisement for Interwave, a Dial Q2 internet provider for the Sega Saturn. It promotes easy connectivity with billing handled via Dial Q2, requiring no initial fees, no monthly fees, and no credit card. Connection costs are 20 yen per minute, separate from call charges. This page presents a mix of game simulation and Sega Saturn news. On the left, we see a promotion for the Sankyo Fever Kijitsu simulation game, available for both Sega Saturn and Windows 95. This title brings the excitement of popular pachinko machines into your home, featuring various specific models to play. It was scheduled for release on April 4 for 5,800 yen, with an initial run including a special Sankyo trading card. The right side contains the Kingdom of Saturn news section, featuring News Dynamite. This area is dedicated to keeping readers updated on Sega Saturn-related information and events. Featured events include a promotional event for Sega's arcade game Top Skater at Club Citas Kawasaki, where other popular arcade racers like Scud Race and Sega Touring Car Championship were also playable. The section also covers events like an anime festival and the 97 Tokyo Toy Show, highlighting Sega's presence and related activities within the industry. This page is a reader participation postcard intended for submitting feedback, game rankings, and preferences to the magazine. It features a standard postcard layout with space for a 50 yen stamp and the mailing address for Tokuma Shuten Intermedia in Higashi Shinbashi, Tokyo. The form allows readers to submit their opinions to various sections of the magazine, such as Ranking Street or Cornhead Club. It includes fields for personal information like name, address, age, and phone number. The main body of the survey is dedicated to ranking various Sega Saturn games from 1st to 5th place, featuring titles like NBA Jam Extreme, Mobile Suit Gundam, Puyo Puyo Sun, Magic Knight Ray Earth, and many others, allowing readers to vote for their favorites. There's also a section to indicate desired presents, such as game software or magazine-related merchandise. This page serves as a direct line for readers to engage with the magazine and influence future content through surveys and feedback. This page offers a snapshot of gaming and related culture, starting with news from the Ank 1 fighting circuit, featuring fighters like Anbadi Hug and Francisco Filho, reflecting the popularity of fighting games. We then see an event announcement for a Shinseki Evangelion art gallery, highlighting the anime's crossover appeal. New products include a PC CD-ROM version of the Tamagotchi, a handy one-handed controller grip called the ASCII Grip X, and a model kit for the GM Blue Destiny Unit 1 from the Mobile Suit Gundam Gaiden series. Music releases cover the Daytona USA Circuit Edition soundtrack, a collection for the popular Puzzle Bobble series, and a theme song CD for the game Digital Angel Den-O SS. Video highlights feature the release of the animated series Volume 1 based on the Vampire Hunter games, known internationally as Darkstalkers, starring fan favorites like Dimitri and Morrigan. The page concludes with a reader contest offering prizes including the Fighting Illusion K1 Grand Prix 96 game, a novel, and other merchandise. This page features insights from the Sega CS development room in its 18th installment, discussing game development and offering a look at replay data from Daytona USA Circuit Edition, complete with a screenshot. There's also a brief announcement about a poster giveaway for Neon Genesis Evangelion Second Impression. The main section is the Conehead Club reader page, filled with letters covering a variety of topics. Readers share thoughts on games like Daytona USA, Eve, likely even Burst Error, Sakura Wars, and express their experiences with Sega Saturn, Mega Drive, and other systems, including a notable mention of sometimes playing on PlayStation. Topics also touch on personal interests like dieting and online shopping. The page also includes a small manga strip titled Manga de Go, and a gallery showcasing reader-submitted artwork for Puyo Puyo Sun, highlighting the game's popularity. This page is dedicated to the community voice, featuring various fan clubs and a large illustration gallery. Readers share their passion for games like Tokimeki Memorial, discussing character goods, and the Lunar series, reflecting on differences between the Mega CD and Saturn versions, and anticipating future installments. The Sakura Wars section sees fans excited for the sequel, praising characters like Iris. Dragon Force enthusiasts discuss the game's distinctive art style, while Neon Genesis Evangelion fans are buzzing about the release of Neon Genesis Evangelion Second Impression, expressing anticipation for the movie. The highlight is the extensive illustration gallery, showcasing impressive reader-submitted artwork for titles such as Puyo Puyo Sun, Lunar, Langrisser, Shining the Holy Ark, Resident Evil, and Mobile Suit Gundam, demonstrating the diverse tastes of Saturn owners. The Kids Hope section includes younger players' thoughts on upcoming releases like Langrisser IV, and interesting discussions about the competitive landscape between different console manufacturers and software development partnerships. The Cone Kids Network board provides a queue and a platform where readers discuss the effectiveness of game advertising and the appeal of character illustrations. Overall, the page captures the vibrant community surrounding the Sega Saturn and the diverse gaming landscape of the time. This page focuses on the Sega community, featuring results from contests, fan-submitted content, and Q&A. The results of the 7th cover prediction contest are announced, with the winning guess being Advanced World War, Millennium of Ruin, although many readers had predicted Evangelion. Readers share their recommended games, highlighting narrative-driven titles like Eve, Burst Error, and A Girl Who Chants Love at the Bound of This World for their depth, as well as dating simulations like Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 3. There's a section for port requests, with fans hoping to see Galactic Attack and Echo the Dolphin on the system. A significant portion is dedicated to fan illustrations across various sections, like the Conehead Club and Sega Am Freak, showcasing impressive artwork for popular titles such as Virtua Fighter 2, Last Bronx, and even art related to Akira. The first Illustration Hall of Fame results are also presented, recognizing top fan artists and their work featuring games like Dark Savior and Valkyrie. The Satafan Q&A addresses reader questions, including confirming the availability of Thunder Force series soundtracks. Submission guidelines for contributing to these community sections are also provided. This page presents an exhaustive database cataloging every Sega Saturn title and compatible peripheral released up to March 7, 1997. It acts as a comprehensive guide for fans, detailing 540 games released between November 22, 1994, and this cutoff date. The list is meticulously organized by genre, covering everything from intense fighting action games and classic action titles to deep simulations, expansive role-playing adventures, thrilling 2D and 3D shooters, and engaging adventures. Each entry provides key information, like the game title, publisher, release date, price, and which peripherals it supports. There's also a handy key explaining the abbreviations for various accessories, like the multi-controller, mission stick, RAM cartridge, and specialized controllers for racing or twin-stick games. This page is pure data, offering a complete snapshot of the Saturn's library growth over its initial years, serving as an invaluable reference for any serious collector or player looking to explore the console's vast catalog. A small note mentions that reader surveys contribute to a real-time game ranking, but the main focus here is the massive game list itself. The next page continues the extensive Sega Saturn database, expanding upon the detailed game catalog. This section delves into a wider variety of genres, showcasing the console's diverse library. You'll find comprehensive lists covering race games, mahjong titles, puzzle games, sports simulations, and table games, which encompass both traditional board/card games and gambling-style titles. It also lists collections of CG visuals, educational software, and a broad other category for titles that defy easy classification. Each entry provides the standard critical information: the game title, its publisher, release date, price, and supported peripherals. It's pure data, essential for any collector or player looking to navigate the full breadth of the Saturn's releases up to early 1997. There are no screenshots or specific game highlights, just the factual record of what was available. This page features a reader survey and a present giveaway. Readers are encouraged to fill out a postcard answering questions about their demographics, gaming habits, preferred hardware and magazines, and opinions on the current issue's articles and featured games. The survey questions reference several lists provided on the page. Table 1 details the articles included in this issue, allowing readers to rate their interest. Table 2 lists various other gaming magazine titles. Table 3 enumerates different gaming hardware platforms, from consoles like the Sega Saturn and PlayStation to handhelds and SiACs. Table 4 is a massive list of Sega Saturn software titles, providing options for readers to indicate games they are interested in or have enjoyed/disliked. The prizes offered for participating in the survey include several Sega Saturn games, such as Hanagumi Taisen Columns, Grand Red, 04 Champ Doozy Typer, Sotsugyu S, Graduation, Kakyusei, Tokimeki Memorial Selection, Fujisaki Shiori, and Advanced World War, Millennium of Destruction, plus telephone cards featuring the magazine's artwork. Instructions on how to correctly fill out the survey postcard for entry are also detailed, emphasizing clarity for computer processing. It's a standard way for the magazine to gauge reader interest and reward participation with relevant prizes. This page introduces the third and final set of commemorative CD jackets for the magazine's 100th issue. These jackets can be cut out and inserted into game cases, providing useful game information and artwork. The featured games covered in this collection include Cyber Troopers Virtualon, Enemy Zero, Magical Drop 2, Fighters Megamix, Daytona USA Circuit Edition, Kakyusei, and Grand Red. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to Cyber Troopers Virtualon, showcasing striking mecha artwork and basic game details. It highlights the recently released Network Battle version and provides valuable tactical guidance for competitive play. The Point Guidance section breaks down combat strategies and offers a secret file on the formidable Yoranda unit, detailing its abilities, alongside analysis of the Jaguaranda unit and general combat tips with screenshots illustrating various attacks and split-screen multiplayer. It's a comprehensive guide to maximizing performance in this intense mech fighting game. This page continues the feature on collectible CD jackets, highlighting tactical advice for Cyber Troopers Virtualon and providing guidance for the atmospheric adventure game Enemy Zero. For Virtualon, the guide details how players can utilize 3 distinct viewpoints during combat, showcases hidden training color schemes for the popular Temjin and Raiden units unlockable via a special command, and reveals the method to unleash the devastating power of the Yorand VR, noting its ability to quickly eliminate even bosses. Turning to Enemy Zero, presented as a grand adventure across 4 seeds, the focus is on the real-time exploration segments where the player, as Laura, must confront and overcome the invisible enemy. Strategic maps for the challenging Fall Tower area are provided, crucial for navigating floors populated by these unseen threats as you progress toward the game's conclusion. This page continues the guide feature, providing further tactical maps for the challenging towers in Enemy Zero, including the summer, winter, and additional floors of the Fall Tower, crucial for navigating the unseen threats. It also offers specific walkthrough steps for the adventure sections of the game, detailing how to access certain areas, use computers, and solve key progression points involving characters like Kimball and Ronnie. The feature then transitions to Tengai Makyo, the Apocalypse IV, presenting it as the latest RPG in the acclaimed series. An anime illustration showcases characters from the game, and a brief overview highlights its setting in America, focusing on a monster hunter protagonist and companions, with the guide promising advice on effectively acquiring items using the Hunter Guild and mastering basic combat techniques. Finally, a secret unlockable in Enemy Zero is revealed, detailing the steps to access a special shower scene featuring Laura after completing the game on normal mode and beginning a hard mode playthrough. This page continues the guide for Tengai Makyo, the Apocalypse IV, diving deeper into its mechanics. It explains how the Hunter Guild is key to acquiring items by exchanging earned guild points, and details basic combat strategies like understanding enemy weaknesses and the importance of turn order. There's also a breakdown of the magic system, noting it uses MP and scales in power. The guide presents extensive lists of ability-granting items, recovery items, weapons, and armor, showing their stats and effects, essential for any hunter traversing America. The point guidance section highlights the game's use of the Sega Saturn's internal clock via the PLGS system, explaining how in-game events and store inventories change dynamically based on real-world time and date, adding a layer of simulation to the experience. It points out specific dates like Christmas or Valentine's Day might trigger special events. The guide also touches on intriguing secrets, such as how certain character actions can lead to unexpected visual effects or unlockable scenes, like watching Street TV, which displays previews or other content. Finally, a section details weapons and armor available in the game, offering a tactical overview of equipment options. This page continues the detailed guide for Tengai Makyo, the Apocalypse IV, focusing on the vibrant Las Vegas area. It explains how the Sega Saturn's internal clock impacts in-game events and store inventories through the PLGS system, describing how prices and available items change dynamically with the real-world date and time, including special events on holidays. The guide provides strategies for overcoming mid-bosses like Lodog and Manto, pictured with their character portraits, and delves into character relationships, detailing how player choices affect their post-graduation lives, whom the female characters choose as partners, and receiving letters. There are also tips for obtaining specific items, like the ginger sorbet, and strategies for market trading within the game. The right side of the page features Fighters Megamix, Sega's incredible crossover fighting game. It highlights the dream matches between characters from Virtua Fighter and Fighting Vipers, running smoothly at 60 frames per second, with some techniques pulled from Virtua Fighter 3. The guide points out that clearing courses unlocks hidden characters and details some of their appearance conditions and special moves. Screenshots show the game in action, including the opening graphics. A section provides a command list for the character Siba, and a small secret reveals that BM stages and character colors can be selected. The next page continues the deep dive into Fighters Megamix, Sega's ultimate dream match fighting game. It kicks off with basic game information like the genre and player count, highlighting the game's core appeal as a fighting action title for 2 players. A major focus is placed on the sheer number of hidden characters and ultimate moves available, promising lots to unlock and master. The page explains key gameplay mechanics such as Fagia Guard, a special defensive state allowing characters to guard against throws, highs, and mids while crouching, and About Wake Up, discussing Wake Up Cancel, and strategies for using it to counter immediately upon standing up. Command lists are extensively provided for a diverse roster, including characters like Deku, Bark, Bean, Hornet, and Janet, alongside mainstays like Kids, Sarah, Uzkibar, and Bon. These lists detail special moves and techniques, essential for mastering each fighter. The guide emphasizes using these comprehensive command lists for effective play-in versus battles. Screenshots across the page showcase the game's vibrant 3D arenas and character models in action, demonstrating various moves and character interactions. A point guidance section offers additional tips for gameplay success, underscoring the depth and variety offered by the large character roster and unique mechanics. The next page continues coverage of Fighters Megamix and Daytona USA Circuit Edition. For Fighters Megamix, there are detailed command lists for characters like Bon and Rent a Hero, showing their special moves and techniques. A section focuses on mastering hidden techniques available to many characters, including a roster featuring Tokyo, Jane, Honey, and others, promising depth for players to discover powerful moves and combos. Training mode information is also provided to help players hone their skills. Shifting focus, the page delves further into Daytona USA Circuit Edition. It provides basic game information and a point guidance section. A detailed look at this remix version explains it's an enhanced port of the arcade game, with significantly improved graphics, 2 new courses, and support for two-player versus racing. The sheer number of available commands, including various cheats and unlocks, is highlighted in a large table, giving players many options to explore. Screenshots showcase the game's vibrant visuals and intense racing action. The next page continues the deep dive into Daytona USA Circuit Edition, detailing fundamental racing techniques like the in/outline, drifting, and mastering the rocket start for optimal race beginnings. It also covers distinct gameplay modes such as time lag mode, which seems focused on precision timing, delay time mode that alters race flow, and the challenging slower car boost mode, where strategy overrides raw speed. The page provides visual previews of courses and showcases the variety of cars available, listing 8 different vehicles like the Hornet, Gallop, Max, and others, each with unique ratings for grip, acceleration, and top speed to help players choose their preferred ride. Shifting gears, the page introduces DocuSay 2, a highly popular dating simulation adventure game ported to the Saturn. It highlights the game as a sequel to a beloved title, known for its engaging story and memorable characters designed by Masaki Takei. The Saturn version boasts exclusive original scenes presented in a unique calendar format. The core gameplay revolves around the protagonist navigating the last summer vacation before graduation, attempting to foster romantic relationships with one of 15 different heroines. The coverage emphasizes the game's status as a successful port from PC, noting the inclusion of bonus scenarios from the Graduation Students series. 2 character illustrations and a calendar overlay add visual appeal. This page expands further on the DocuSay 2 Saturn port, showcasing more character art alongside a 1997 calendar layout for March, April, May, and June. The feature highlights key Saturn-exclusive enhancements like an original anime opening sequence and the inclusion of the Graduation Students scenarios, previously a bonus for clearing the PC version. It also details new original graphics and fully voiced character dialogue, emphasizing the significant effort put into bringing the characters to life through voice acting. The page includes a casting list, indicating the extensive voice talent involved. The main section on the right dives into the ranking street, presenting Sega Saturn game sales data for late February and early March 1997. It prominently features the continued reign of Puyo Puyo Sun at the top of the charts, noting its impressive multi-week dominance. Other strong performers include Layer Section 2, the Classic Collection Sega Ages, Fantasy Zone, the hit Sakura Wars, and various other popular titles like Daytona USA, Circuit Edition, Tomb Raider, and Die Hard Arcade, listed here as Dynamite Deca. The commentary praises Puyo Puyo Sun's enduring appeal and the solid performance of the Sega Ages series. This page presents the Ranking Street feature, highlighting Sega Saturn game rankings based on reader surveys for titles recently ported from the STV arcade system. Securing the #1 position is the critically acclaimed shooter, Radiant Silvergun, developed by Electronic Arts Victor. The ranking also includes Hypersecurity's S at 2nd place, the fighting game K1 Grand Prix 95 in 3rd, and the light gun classic Area 51 at 4th. By these top titles, the page offers a mix of reader feedback, ranging from positive remarks on atmosphere and gameplay mechanics, to more critical assessments from the magazine's reviewers covering technical aspects, pacing, and content depth. Developer comments provide a glimpse into the porting effort and future considerations. This page ranks STV arcade ports based on reader votes, detailing feedback for top titles like Radiant Silvergun and K1 Grand Prix 95. This page continues the Ranking Street feature, presenting reader-ranked Sega Saturn games from 5th to 10th place. Coming in at number 5 is the intense Die Hard trilogy, praised by readers for its satisfying actions. 6th place goes to the vibrant platformer Bug 2, although some found its pace challenging. 7th is 3D Baseball, The Majors, notable for its detailed player data. The strategy title, Romance of the Three Kingdoms Returns, secures the 8th spot, with reader comments highlighting its complex simulation aspects. 9th place is occupied by Simulation Zoo, a game focused on building and managing a zoo, which garnered mixed feedback on its accessibility. Finally, the list is completed at number 10, with NHL Powerplay 96, appreciated for its fluid gameplay and camera options. The magazine also solicits reader reviews for future issues, listing several upcoming titles and setting a deadline of April 10th for submissions. This page continues the magazine's reader-driven features, presenting rankings for both current popularity and desired game ports. The popularity list covers the top 30 titles, while a separate list highlights the top 10 games readers most want to see brought to the platform, featuring highly anticipated titles like Final Fantasy V2 and Shin Super Robot Taisen. The bulk of the page is dedicated to the Game Research Lab, offering a detailed guide for J.League JICU Victory Goal 97. This section provides tactical advice for playing against the computer, covering essential strategies like optimizing team settings through editing, utilizing effective formations for advantageous positioning, focusing on players in good form, and selecting appropriate tactical styles based on the match situation. Screenshots illustrate gameplay moments and team data screens, helping players understand how to implement the strategies discussed. Additionally, a special feature titled Waku Waku Port Request Land discusses specific fan requests for ports, highlighting classic titles such as Rent a Hero and Dark Edge, and expressing hope for their future release. This page dives deeper into the J.League JICU Victory Goal 97 Game Research Lab, providing essential strategies for dominating the CPU. It covers specific technical skills for breaking through defenses, like utilizing precise passing and special pass types such as the search pass. The guide details effective goal-scoring techniques, including shooting after a feint against the goalkeeper and performing central penetration shots. A significant portion explains how to understand and utilize player ability data, detailing how parameters translate to on-field performance like speed and kicking power. It emphasizes the impact of player condition and fatigue on stats, illustrating how performance fluctuates, and highlighting the importance of managing players' stamina in longer modes. The page also presents data for all 17 J.League teams and their players, with a focus on the Kashima Antlers squad, showcasing key players and their core abilities and positions. Screenshots throughout demonstrate the techniques discussed and provide visual examples of the player data screens. The content is clearly aimed at giving players the technical edge needed for victory. This page continues the in-depth player analysis for J.League Victory Goal 97, featuring detailed player data and team setups for Jeff United, Kashiwa, Marinos, Flugels, Urawa, Verdi, Belmare, and Shimizu. It lists default formations and key set-piece takers for each club, providing the vital stats players need to assess team strengths. This page continues the J.League Victory Goal 97 guide, providing detailed team data for 8 more clubs. It includes default formations, set-piece takers, and player statistics for teams like Jubilo Iwata, Nagoya Grampus 8, Gamba Osaka, and Sanfrecce Hiroshima, helping players analyze team strengths for the game. This page features the magazine's real-time game ranking, based on reader votes for Sega Saturn games released up to February 7th. It showcases a comprehensive list of games ranked by popularity and satisfaction, along with a smaller, cumulative ranking Best 20 showing the top titles over time. The accompanying report notes that, while new releases often receive high praise, they haven't been able to crack the top spots in the real-time ranking recently. Established hits and highly anticipated sequels continue to dominate, with games like Sakura Wars, Virtua Fighter 2, Street Fighter 02, and Nights into Dreams consistently appearing at the top of both the real-time and cumulative charts. The report highlights that the ranking reflects overall support rather than just initial sales, capturing games that players continue to enjoy and discuss. It's a fascinating snapshot of the Saturn's most loved titles from this period, showing that popular genres like fighting games, RPGs, and simulations hold strong appeal with the readers. This page highlights a couple of different aspects. On the left, it features the Tokyo Game Designer Academy, offering a variety of courses for aspiring game industry professionals, from designers and artists to sound creators and writers, noting the opening of their Osaka campus in April '97. The main focus on the right is a feature on the Banpresto SF simulation game, Grand Red. The article teases a look at the game's Hoffman face system via a replay. It emphasizes the game's presentation, showcasing a story told on polygon-rendered fields and utilizing CG movies at key plot points to enhance the narrative. It also notes the inclusion of voice acting for the characters. The screenshots depict futuristic spacecraft and stylized character art, suggesting a focus on strategic simulation gameplay within a visually detailed sci-fi universe. This page continues the deep dive into the simulation game, Grand Red. It elaborates on the unique Hoffman face battle system, describing it as a flat battlefield within space that simulates naval combat. Terrain types on this sea of space introduce tactical variety, with effects like flow, influencing unit movement and combat advantage. The page also introduces the platoon system, a helpful feature allowing multiple units to move and act together as a single entity, streamlining battlefield control and enabling coordinated support effects. A section explores the game's unit types, character growth mechanics, and how different races in the game relate to various abilities and unit compatibility. The main focus on the right is a detailed playthrough report covering the early chapters of the game's story. It recounts the protagonist's initial test, a sudden enemy attack on the Jupiter system involving a formidable foe known as Black Wing, and a subsequent mission to rescue a princess, highlighting key narrative moments and battles through screenshots. Finally, it introduces a powerful new unit, the Dragonalis Battle Carrier, and provides a profile for the character Angie Ida, the princess protagonist. The next page shifts gears entirely, delivering an in-depth look at the brutal mech-based fighting game, Cyberbots: Full Metal Madness. It breaks down the crucial game system, emphasizing the importance of understanding the various on-screen gauges. The weapon gauge for managing ranged attacks, the arm damage gauge which dictates the state of your mech's limbs and access to certain moves, the power charge gauge for unleashing devastating special attacks like the Giga Crush and CyberX, and the boost gauge enabling rapid movement and evasive maneuvers. The page also details the basic controls and command techniques specific to the variant armors, including throws, grapple attacks, and the strategic arm ripper move designed to disable an opponent's arm. Further system explanations cover essential actions, like executing a quick stand-up after being knocked down to avoid follow-up attacks, and stomping down opponents for extra damage. It's a comprehensive guide to mastering the unique mechanics of this intense fighting title. This page dives deeper into Cyberbots: Full Metal Madness, specifically highlighting the enhancements for the Sega Saturn release. It introduces the 3 characters newly made playable in the home version: Devilat, Kiyomaru, and Tetsuzan, and Shade, who were previously only AI-controlled opponents. The page provides a look into the early stages of their individual story modes, featuring character artwork and screenshots of their unique variant armors in action. Devilat pilots the mischievous Super 8, Kiyomaru and his mentor Tetsuzan are associated with the robust Gates R, and the enigmatic Shade uses the sleek Helion R. Each section gives a brief background on the character and previews their first few battles and key story moments, offering players a taste of the expanded narrative content available in the Saturn port. There's also a brief mention of a special limited edition release or contest offering a garage kit. This page delves into the world of Quo Vadis 2, Oven Ray, a simulation RPG for the Sega Saturn. The focus here is on the conspiracy surrounding the development of a new machine called GX, which is a critical element of the story. The page highlights several key plot events that unfold on different planets, including Orig, Mubandaka, and Az, and features tactical screenshots showing the game's strategic battles involving assault armors, referred to as a 2S. A major character spotlight is placed on Hilda Behrens, the protagonist Afghavan's former fiancée, detailing her appearance then and now, and emphasizing her significance in the narrative. The page previews the dramatic reunion between Ovan and Hilda, which takes place during an infiltration of a secret factory linked to the G.O.A organization and the mysterious GX unit. The screenshots illustrate various gameplay scenarios, including stealth operations and direct combat, suggesting the diverse challenges players will face in this space opera. The game is described as a complex human drama set against a vast cosmic backdrop. This page dives into 04 Champ Doozy J-Typer, the latest entry in the popular street racing series that's evolving into something much more. The game challenges players to travel across America, aiming to become the Zero Yan drag racing world champion. Beyond the high-speed races, this title integrates strong simulation and RPG elements. A major focus is on interacting with a diverse cast of characters you meet on your journey. You can choose from potential partners, build relationships through dating, and face off against various rivals in races. The game promises a dramatic story interwoven with the racing challenges. Furthermore, 04 Champ Doozy J-Typer is packed with a wide array of minigames that contribute to your progress, helping you earn money or boost stats. Screenshots showcase activities like quizzes, arm wrestling, shooting galleries, fishing, store management, and casino games. The developers emphasize that the RPG aspect is significant and plays a large role in the overall experience. It's a unique blend of racing, life simulation, and role-playing set against the backdrop of an American road trip. This page introduces Free Talk Studio, a unique radio talk show simulation game. You play as Mari Kosaka, a new radio DJ suddenly thrust into the spotlight. The core gameplay revolves entirely around conversation. You'll engage in talks with a variety of individual guests, managing the show's mood and your interactions through dialogue choices. Success depends on navigating branching conversations effectively, keeping the show lively, and handling unexpected situations like studio mishaps or eccentric guests such as Imiko and the artistic Nanashi Hikozaki. You'll also interact with the show's director, Fujita, who provides feedback. The game features an original song performed by Mari Koda, adding to the radio theme. It's a deep dive into the world of broadcast conversation, focusing on character interaction and the branching paths your words can create. This page provides a deep dive into the Sega Saturn version of Graduation S. It highlights the significant improvements and new content added to this release compared to previous versions, such as the PC Engine game. The article emphasizes a refined system with faster loading times and smoother operation, creating a more comfortable gameplay experience. Visually, new graphics have been incorporated, including eye-catching illustrations that appear seasonally with accompanying voice clips. All character voices have been completely re-recorded for this version, with attention drawn to the performances in added scenes. Key events are detailed, like the Seikaisai Festival concert where the main character performs. A new teacher down mechanic is introduced, where student reactions change based on the player character's low physical strength, adding another layer of interaction. The exam sequences are also highlighted as being more dynamic and lively, with added voice acting and varied questions. The love letter mode has seen an increase in dialogue and text, allowing for deeper character expression. The magazine notes, these enhancements make the Saturn version a thorough update for fans. This page focuses on the Sega Saturn release of the dating simulation game, Kakusei. It announces the impending release of the port, highlighting that players can finally experience the game's key conversation scenes on the console. The article notes that the adaptation for home console maintains the core experience, with particular attention paid to presenting mature content carefully within the acceptable boundaries for the platform. The gameplay involves managing time within the game's world, Uzuki Town, exploring various locations like the park and amusement park, and interacting with the game's many female characters to develop relationships. Screenshots show the town's map and character interactions at different times of day. The page features character artwork and CGS, including visuals of Miko Kamiyama, Nana Minagawa, Reiko Shindo, Mahoko Mochida, Mizuho Yuki, and Shizuka Mitsuki, giving readers a glimpse of the girls they can pursue in the game. The content emphasizes that the game's detailed visuals and character expressions are well represented in this Saturn version. This page features a character profile for the dating simulation game Kakusei. Following up on the previous coverage, we're introduced to Ryoko Kano in the live UP to Elf series, highlighting her as character number 8. The content discusses her personality, noting her apparent dislike for romance despite her beauty. Her personal data is presented, giving details like her height, blood type, and vital statistics, along with unique metrics like her drawing index and low love index. The section poses the question of when this seemingly anti-romance character might finally open up. A small preview teases that the next session will feature 2 characters. On the right side, the page announces the upcoming Sega Saturn release of Versus Advanced Variable Geo, a fighting game known for its all-female roster. The title declares the game transforms beautifully into Shura on the console. Small screenshots offer a glimpse of the gameplay and character CGS. The announcement confirms the game's release date of March 14, 1997, and its standard price. It also mentions a limited first-run edition that includes a jigsaw puzzle at a slightly higher price point. The game is developed and published by TGL. This page features the action game Magical Hoppers. It's an action game where you control a lively boy and girl, using jumps and special moves to clear 3D stages packed with interactive gimmicks and defeat enemies on your way to the goal. You can choose between the 2 main characters, Crumb and Guppy, each with unique skills. Crumb excels at the spin attack to knock away surrounding enemies, while Guppy has the flutter jump, allowing her to extend her airtime and distance. You can also find magic items to aid your quest, such as the fireball to attack from a distance, the freezer to temporarily stop enemies, and the shrinker to make foes small and vulnerable. The page showcases the diverse and visually interesting stages, built with 3D graphics. Examples include the Skull Fortress with its enemies and dynamic environments, the precarious hollow stairway featuring collapsing paths, and the dungeon tower filled with hazardous floors and shifting platforms. Each stage is filled with exciting and sometimes dangerous challenges. Collecting coins scattered throughout the stages is important. Not only adding to your score, but collecting enough can grant extra lives and potentially unlock a bonus level. Finally, the page highlights the character designs by Suzen, known for their work on anime and other games, noting that their unique style fits well with the game's world. This page features the fantasy RPG and Earth Fantasy Stories, the first volume for the Sega Saturn. This title is a remake of the 1995% engine game, Seiya Monogatari. The game's unique selling point is its branching narrative, offering 4 different scenarios based on which foster parent raises the protagonist found abandoned as a baby. These different upbringings determine the hero's initial path. They can become a lobe artist, thief, a force master, magic user, a sword master, swordsman, or a sacred vanguard, priest. Each path leads to a distinct story experience. Combat is integrated into events rather than being random, and character growth is tied to actions rather than traditional levels. Navigation uses a map interface to select destinations. The page introduces some of the companions who can join the protagonist's party, such as Kasim and Vestral. It also includes an interview with scenario writer Jun Tu, who discusses the game's development and his focus on creating believable things within the fantasy world, aiming for a sense of reality despite the genre. This page dives into the Sega Saturn port of the fighting game, Fighter's History Dynamite, known as Shino Heiken in Japan. This title comes to the Saturn from the arcade and Neo Geo, bringing its unique focus on air combat and several distinct systems. The game features key mechanics like the Heaven and Earth transformation system, offering a chance for powerful super moves, and the command chain system, which simplifies executing special moves and combos. Players can also utilize the chain guard system for defensive options and counterattacks, and execute special jump attacks to extend combos in the air. The page highlights 11 playable characters, showcasing portraits of the powerful boss characters from the Neo Geo version, who are now selectable from the beginning on the Saturn. Each character is described as being godlike with unique fighting styles and abilities. Furthermore, the Saturn version includes additions like a dedicated boss mode and a detailed hit display. Overall, the page presents Fighter's History Dynamite as a feature-rich fighting game on the Saturn, with accessible controls and a diverse cast, adding content not found in the original arcade release. There's also a small mention of a figure campaign offered with initial purchases. This page features Monster Slider, a unique puzzle game on the Sega Saturn where you tilt the game board to clear blocks and defeat monsters. Playing as Nina, granted powers by the Holy Cross, you embark on a quest to rescue your sister Claudia from Dracula, battling various monsters using puzzle skills. The core gameplay revolves around dropping blocks and arranging 3 or more of the same color to clear them, a standard falling block puzzle mechanic. However, the innovative twist comes from the ability to tilt the entire game field left or right, which causes the blocks to slide and potentially create chains, crucial for offense against opponents. Different block types exist, including normal blocks, Geico blocks that send garbage blocks to your opponent, special blocks used to activate character-specific special moves, and bonus blocks that clear the entire field. Beyond standard block clearing, unleashing special moves is key to victory. Each of the 12 characters, including Nina, Frankenstein, Dracula, and Medusa, has a unique special move triggered by clearing special blocks. These can dramatically turn the tide of battle, adding a strategic layer to the puzzle action. The page highlights the variety of these powerful abilities. The game offers 3 modes: a versus mode for head-to-head play, a story mode where you challenge the computer, and a feudoride mode, presumably for cooperative or alternative 2-player gameplay. The presentation emphasizes the exciting competitive aspect and the thrill of executing powerful chains and special moves. This page dives into Bust-A-Move 3, featuring the Bubble Bobble characters, Bub and Bob, helping the magazine's editors create a strategy guide. The page showcases the game's core mechanics and introduces new elements. It highlights essential techniques for mastering the game, focusing on precise aiming, and creating large chains for maximum impact. Screenshots demonstrate successful plays and challenging situations. A dedicated section introduces 2 new, tough rivals exclusive to the Sega Saturn version, Deberin and Drank. Their unique attack patterns are detailed, adding strategic depth to versus matches. A fun, multi-step photo feature follows Bub and Bob through a day at the editorial office, participating in everything from playing the game for strategy notes and screenshots to helping with layout and getting the final approval from the editor. This offers a lighthearted look at the magazine-making process through the eyes of the game's mascots. The page also touches on some lesser-known game mechanics, like fine aiming adjustments and the formula for calculating points when sending bubbles to your opponent. Overall, it's a comprehensive look at Boost a Move 3, offering both strategic tips and a unique behind-the-scenes peek. This page showcases Uncharted Waters 2, New Horizons, a simulation RPG set in the 16th century Age of Discovery. The magazine highlights the game's core premise, an open-ended adventure where players aren't bound by a fixed route, allowing them to explore the world's oceans freely. Gameplay involves starting in a port, preparing for voyages by managing finances, supplies, and recruiting crew at taverns. The world map exploration reveals new areas and ports. The journey isn't without peril, featuring naval combat against pirates and rivals, and the constant challenge of navigating the seas. Discovering new lands, items, and completing various missions are central to progression, as players aim to increase fame and national contribution. The article introduces the 6 unique protagonists: João Ferreiro, Ali Vezas, Ernst Lopes, Otto Espinosa, Pietro Conti, and Catalina Aranzo, each with their own background story and ultimate goal. Screenshots display various aspects of the game, including port management, seafaring, battles, discoveries, and interactions with characters and cities. The freedom to engage in trade, exploration, combat, and personal quests makes each playthrough a distinct experience. This page features Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Kongming's Tale, a simulation RPG that puts you in the role of the legendary strategist Zhuge Liang. It highlights the game's blend of strategy and RPG elements, where you navigate the vast world of the Three Kingdoms, gather information, strengthen your forces, and engage in turn-based combat. The game incorporates animated cutscenes for key historical events and story beats, adding to the drama. Screenshots show various aspects of gameplay, including exploring towns, character interactions, managing units in battle, and key story moments like famous battles. The strategic depth comes from understanding unit types and their relationships, utilizing officer abilities, and making choices that can alter the course of history, all centered around Zhuge Liang's strategic genius. This page covers 2 very different simulation experiences. First up is The Convenience Store, a management simulation putting you in charge of building a convenience store empire. It delves into the strategic decisions of location scouting, store layout, inventory management, staffing, advertising, and even buying out rivals to achieve market dominance. The article highlights the depth of the simulation, from hiring staff with different skills to managing finances and avoiding bankruptcy. The second game featured is Black Base, an action-packed fishing game focused on the thrill of catching black bass. It emphasizes realistic lure choices and the dynamic battle with the fish, using simple, sports-like controls for reeling and rod movement in 3D environments. The game includes a story mode following a young boy led to a dream world by a fairy to fish, a practice mode for beginners, and a sound mode to enjoy the game's music. The reviewer notes the excitement of the action and the realistic aspects of the fishing mechanics. This page delves into supplemental content for 2 popular romance simulation series. First up is Tokimeki Memorial Selection, Shiori Fujisaki, focusing entirely on the iconic heroine, Shiori. It highlights a release packed with fan-focused content, including a music clip featuring Shiori, a vast voice collection with around 2,000 different lines and even new dialogue, a portrait collection showcasing her full-body illustrations not seen in the main game, and a minigame of Aki Muit Hoi, Look That Way, to play against her. It's essentially a digital tribute offering fans a wealth of material centered around their favorite character. The second section covers Sentimental Graffiti, First Window. This isn't a game itself, but a premium disc, filled with setting materials and behind-the-scenes content from the game's development. It includes a digital collection of design sketches and line art for the heroines, a digital art book showcasing beautiful illustrations rendered in high resolution, and even footage from the voice actor auditions, featuring the actual actresses who landed the roles. This release provides a deep dive into the production process and artwork for dedicated fans of the series. Both titles offer fascinating supplemental content, whether you're a die-hard fan of Shiori from Tokimeki Memorial or eager to see the creative process behind Sentimental Graffiti. This page presents 2 distinct simulation games. On the left, we have Sankyo Fever 6 Machine Complete Simulation, which brings the excitement of arcade pachinko home. It simulates 6 different Sankyo pachinko machines, allowing players to adjust settings like nail angles and probability, replicate real-world play conditions, and even track game data. Various popular Sankyo models are included, and a dedicated handle controller peripheral is available for an authentic feel. The right side features Voice Idol Maniacs. Pool Bar Story. This is a billiards game where you challenge 8 different voice idols to matches. The game offers various modes, including a date mode to play against a chosen idol, a tournament mode against randomly selected opponents, and a trick mode for practicing specific shots. It includes 6 different popular billiards rule sets like 8-ball, 9-ball, and rotation. The page shows images of the voice idols you can compete against. This page features 2 different games. On the left is Say You, a command selection adventure game where you take on the role of an anime sound director aiming to succeed in voice recording sessions. Gameplay involves directing voice actors, managing communication, and participating in minigames, focusing on the behind-the-scenes world of anime production and interacting with real voice actors who are featured in the game. On the right is Wolfang 2001 SS, an action-packed shooting game ported from the arcade. You pilot customizable mechs, choosing from various parts and weapons to tackle missions. The game offers different attack methods, power-ups, and sub-weapons, with mechanics like charging for enhanced shots. Mission progression and endings can change based on your choices, offering replayability. The page highlights several distinct mech types and provides screenshots of the intense combat. This page features the Saturn Soft Impression section, highlighting games released between March 21st and March 28th. It emphasizes that with many titles releasing, these reviews serve as a guide for shoppers. The page covers impressions for 4 different games. First up is Cyberbots, Full Metal Madness, a fighting game featuring mechs. Reviewers found the special moves easy to execute and the flashy presentation enjoyable, noting the system is beginner-friendly. It's highlighted that the robot battles are fun to repeat. The average score is 6.6. Next is Power Instinct 2, another fighting game. The reviewers praised the fast-paced chaining of moves and the need to observe opponent movements. They liked the variety of techniques and the satisfying feeling of landing powerful rush attacks. The average score is 6.2. Following is Grand Strategy, Advanced World War, a simulation game focused on commanding German forces in WW2. Reviewers appreciated the deep simulation aspects and detailed unit management. It's noted that the strategic elements are well done, requiring tactical thinking. The average score is 8.4. Finally, Manx TT Superbike is a racing game. While some felt the speed was lacking compared to the arcade version, they found it enjoyable, especially the ability to pull off tricks and the satisfying feeling of leaning into corners. The graphics were considered good, particularly from the driver's view. The average score is 5.8. The section concludes with overall opinions and scores from multiple reviewers for each title. This page reviews 6 Sega Saturn games. The Conveni, a store management sim, received high praise for its depth and accessibility, 7.0. Stand By Say You, 5.2. A voice actor simulation, was lauded by fans but deemed potentially niche. Anus Fantasy Stories, 5.6. An RPG, drew comparisons to a PC Engine game, but some found dungeon crawling repetitive. Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Kumaiden, 5.4. A strategy sim, was praised for capturing the historical era but had some balance issues. Uncharted Waters 2, 6.2. was well regarded for its freedom and exploration elements. Finally, Dragon Master Silk, 6.6, an RPG, was appreciated for its speed and lightheartedness, though some felt its visuals were dated. Each review includes screenshots. This page presents reviews for several Sega Saturn titles, covering a range of genres. Boostamove 3 is reviewed, noted as potentially better than its earlier entries, featuring strategic depth and new elements, scoring 6.4. Sakura Taisen Columns combines the popular puzzle game with characters from the visual novel series, highly recommended for fans, and accessible even for puzzle newcomers, thanks to its story mode, achieving a strong 7.2. Graduation Cross World, a simulation game focused on interacting with anime girls, offers player freedom in daily life, but its length depends on performance, receiving a 5.8. Wolfang, a mech action game, is described as visually appealing, but reviewers noted potentially difficult controls and high challenge, scoring 6.0. Mobile Suit Z Gundam Part 1, a side-scrolling shooter based on the anime, is praised for being faithful to the source material and satisfying for fans with its production. 6.0. Finally, Pacific Storm 2, a historical strategy simulation, is reviewed as an excellent port to the Saturn, with improved graphics and a wide variety of units. 6.0. This page reviews several Sega Saturn games. Pro Yakyu Greatest 997 is praised for its enhanced gameplay. Genzo, No Black Base, a fishing sim, is appreciated for realism but criticized for some graphical issues. Jisin Pachislot Hishu Twin excels at replicating the pachinko experience. Voice Idol Maniacs Pool Bar Story combines pool gameplay with voice actresses, receiving mixed reviews. Tokimeki Memorial Selection Fujisaki Shiori offers a focused dating sim collection. Sentimental Graffiti First Window is a visually appealing entry point to the visual novel series. The SS Adventure Pack combines Myst with a Japanese title. Finally, Metal Slug is lauded for its detailed graphics and extra modes. Reviews highlight diverse experiences and varying strengths/weaknesses among the titles. This page continues the Sega Saturn Impressions Roundtable, where reviewers discuss various titles. They share thoughts on the baseball game, noting the timing focus in batting, and strategic depth in titles reminiscent of the Daizen Ryaku series, where unit management and combat tactics are key. Fighting games like Cyberbots are highlighted for their detailed visuals and additional features. Other impressions cover games with varying difficulties and gameplay styles, from combat simulations to titles with extensive training modes. The page also celebrates the success of Tokimeki Memorial, announcing that Fujisaki Shiori's debut album charted at number 9. A range of commemoration merchandise is showcased, including telephone cards, postcards, and a CD carrying case, all available via mail order. Finally, Koei is promoting a PC keyboard set adorned with Tokimeki Memorial character pixel art. This page is dedicated to mastering Kagemaru, or Kage as he's known internationally, in Virtua Fighter 3. The guide positions Kage as a versatile character, highlighting his speed and solid basic attacks like the elbow strike. It delves into fundamental strategies, emphasizing the importance of reading the opponent and utilizing counters. The main focus shifts to Kage's devastating aerial combos, particularly those launched from his signature move, the Kuenraku. The page provides detailed breakdowns and screenshots of various combo sequences designed to juggle and crush the opponent in the air. It covers effective follow-ups after successful hits or sidesteps, illustrating strategic choices depending on the situation. The guide also touches upon counter-hit strategies using moves like the elbow strike and discusses specific tactics against certain opponents, such as Shundai, noting effective combos and their damage potential. Overall, it serves as a comprehensive strategy guide for players looking to unleash Kage's full potential, focusing on his fast-paced offensive capabilities and devastating aerial game. This page provides an exciting preview of Virtua Striker 2, highlighting the significant advancements made over its predecessor. The game is stated to be 50% complete and focuses on introducing new elements. Key features include stunning 60 frames per second action, with new moves like the heel kick and diving catch, delivering a more dynamic and realistic feel. The number of playable national teams has increased to 15, with the page showcasing the team selection screen and detailing the unique playing styles of several new additions, such as the skilled Croatian team, Belgium's powerful offense, Uruguay's solid defense, Russia's libero system, Yugoslavia's individual brilliance, Greece's defensive stopper, and Portugal's beautiful passing game. The game features 4 distinct stadium types: large, medium, and small, each offering a unique atmosphere, including the ability to play matches resembling major finals. Another notable addition is the implementation of direct passes, allowing for varied offensive strategies. The game's time of day also dynamically changes based on the real-world time, adding visual variety with evening and night matches complete with stadium lights. The presence of in-game advertising further enhances the realistic matchday experience. Virtua Striker 2 is slated for a spring 1997 release. This page features a preview of Sega AM3's new arcade release, Top Skater. The game, which received positive feedback at the AOU show, is a skateboarding title challenging players' technique and sense to rack up points by performing tricks. The goal is to complete a course within a time limit while executing as many impressive maneuvers as possible. A notable innovation is the inclusion of real-world sponsors for the playable characters. The article introduces 3 of the 6 characters: Kenta, a male character; Ash, another male character; and Cookie, a female character with a distinct look. The game boasts an extensive list of around 150 different tricks, emphasizing realistic representation, likely achieved through motion capture, building on AM3's expertise in sports simulations. Screenshots display the vibrant gameplay across different environments, including daytime and nighttime settings, showcasing various tricks and scoring. The page also highlights that the music for the game is provided by the band Pennywise, fitting for the skateboarding theme. The preview concludes by promising more details on the game's development in the next issue. This page dives deep into Hyper Ultech, showcasing hidden tips and options for various Sega Saturn games, rated on a 15 scale based on their practicality and uniqueness. The features cover a range of popular titles. For Sega Age's Fantasy Zone, there's a back option mode revealing additional settings like rapid fire speed and music selection. Sega Age's Memorial Selection Volume 1 allows players to unlock extra game options like game mode, difficulty, lives, and credits through a specific button sequence on the title screen clock. Puyo Puyo Sun offers secrets like unlocking hidden characters and accessing additional art pieces and character costume changes tied to specific real-world dates or gameplay conditions. In Tomb Raiders, beating the game allows you to restart with all weapons, providing a powerful advantage. Both Blast Wind and Hyperduel feature hidden ways to unlock a free play mode, removing continue limitations. Enemy Zero has a peculiar trick to make enemies disappear in a specific warehouse area early in the game. Another Ultech, likely for a light gun game, details how to perform simultaneous shooting and web, possibly a shield or special attack, actions. The page also includes a section soliciting reader submissions for more Ultech discoveries. Screenshots throughout illustrate the specific options, characters, or gameplay moments related to each tip. This page showcases upcoming titles under a prominent Coming Soon banner, encouraging players to look forward to new experiences. First up is Koden Kureijutsu Hyaku Monogatari, a sound novel based on the traditional Japanese 100-candle ghost story ritual. It uses unsettling visuals and 3D sound to build atmosphere, extinguishing a candle with each completed tale, leading to a chilling climax as the last one goes out. The game promises a deep dive into personal, horrifying experiences. Next is Moon Cradle, Bride of the Strange Form, an adventure game ported from the 3DO, featuring live-action FMV segments. You play as a detective, investigating a series of disappearances. The game involves moving the character and selecting commands to gather clues and listen to testimony, with multiple endings depending on your investigation. Notable actors, including Rie Yamaguchi and Yuko Sakamoto, are featured. Finally, Gal Act Heroism, an RPG ported from PC, puts you in control of 3 female protagonists attending an adventurer school to become heroes. Players take on quests and face off against rival teams, with character growth and the ending influenced by these competitions. The preview highlights the anime-style character designs and mentions distinct rivals, like a mysterious sorceress and singing twins. The page also reveals a glimpse of the game's opening movie and combat sequences. Sega Saturn's upcoming releases include The Crow, a fighting game based on the film, offering intense combat and visceral action. Fishing Koshien 2 is a competitive fishing game with black bass and saltwater fishing, supporting 2 players. Sega Bass Fishing 2 focuses on sea bass, realistic lure techniques, and shore-based fishing. Finally, Anarchy in the Nippon is a fighting game with 8 unique characters designed by Atsushi Kamiho, promising fierce battles. This page previews several upcoming Sega Saturn titles and features an interview. First up is Giant Solved, an adventure game themed around investigating mysterious supernatural phenomena. You play as a reporter uncovering the truth behind baffling murders. Key characters assisting you are introduced, including a hacker named Omega. Next, we look at Those Who Hunt Elves, an adventure game based on the well-known anime series. The game features the main characters and promises a story that changes significantly based on the commands you choose during gameplay. Screenshots show anime-style character art and scenes depicting decision points. There's also an interview with Akio Asuka, a science entertainer, discussing his perspectives on the blending of science and entertainment, particularly in the context of supernatural topics. For sports fans, Legend of K1 Grand Prix 96 is a database and fighting game featuring data and highlights from the actual 1996 tournament. It allows you to relive key matches. Finally, a section on new title trends mentions Umibe de Leech, a mahjong game with anime characters, and Falcom Classic, a compilation featuring classic Falcom titles like Dragon Slayer, Xanadu, and YS on a single disc. This page details upcoming Sega Saturn games, spanning various genres like RPGs, fighting games, adventures, and simulations. Featured titles include Mobile Battleship Nadesico, Last Bronx, Samurai Showdown, RPG, Sentimental Graffiti, Grandia, Lunar, Eternal Blue, Classmates 2, Junior Student, and more. Fighting games like Waku Waku 7 and X-Men vs. Street Fighter are highlighted, along with action titles, survival horror, Resident Evil, and puzzle games. Development progress percentages and brief summaries are provided for each, offering insights into the current status and key features. The page serves as a comprehensive overview of the anticipated Saturn lineup. The next page presents a massive calendar detailing upcoming Sega Saturn software releases, organized by month and projected season, along with a list of titles still listed as to be announced. It's a comprehensive look at the pipeline, extending from March 1997 through the winter of 1997. Each entry lists the game title, developer or publisher, and the planned price. A small guide on the side explains how to read the calendar. Titles listed in red indicate bundled hardware or peripherals, while titles in blue signify changes to the release date or name. The symbol also denotes a change has occurred. The calendar features a wide variety of genres. March saw releases like Worms and Knights. April brought Metal Slug and Shining Force 3. May included major titles such as Dragon Force 2 and Vampire Savior. Looking ahead, June lists Samurai Showdown IV and King of Fighters 97, while July onwards lists titles like Langrisser IV. The extensive to-be-announced sections cover everything from fighting games like X-Men vs. Street Fighter and Guilty Gear to adventures like Resident Evil and Layer section, promising continued support across diverse genres. This page is essentially the definitive release schedule for the coming year. This page features the magazine title, Issue number 7 due out March 28th, and cover art motifs, highlighting Quo Vadis 2 with a striking character illustration. There are standard magazine sections, like an editor's postscript discussing the industry climate and upcoming Tokyo Game Show, indices for games and advertisements, and contact information. The main content is a prominent feature on the horse racing simulation game, Yushun Classic Road. Classic Road. This feature introduces Classic Road as a realistic horse racing simulation, focusing on bloodlines and training your own horse from debut to the Japan Derby and beyond. Screenshots showcase various aspects of gameplay, including 3D polygonal racing views, horse stats and profiles, paddock scenes, and training menus. The game promises challenging famous rival horses from history and supports up to 4 players. It emphasizes realism and detailed horse data. The game is presented as being released today, developed by Victor Interactive Software and Progress Company, Limited. This page announces the urgent release decision for Sentimental Graffiti First Window, described as a limited 30,000 copy super collector's disc. It highlights the contents of this disc, which include a digital art museum featuring around 80 images by artist Akihisa Ikeda in high-resolution mode, a digital setting collection with 240 pages of monochrome original art for 12 characters, an audition movie that's a documentary from a January event, and a message movie with the voice actors giving messages to fans in full motion. There's a large, vibrant illustration of several of the game's female characters. The disc is set to release on April 11th for 2,980 yen. The page also briefly mentions a CD single featuring the theme song and an opening song, a TBS radio show called Sentimental Night, and NEC Interchannel's booth at the upcoming Tokyo Game Show, 97 Spring. This page features the Sega Saturn strategy game, Advanced World War, Fall of the Millennium Empire. On the left, there's striking artwork depicting a character in a World War II German-style uniform seated on a motorcycle, accompanied by the strategic Sega Squad Pineapple logo. The core of the page is dedicated to a comprehensive campaign mode map chart, showcasing various historical operations featured in the game. Players can explore battles from the Battle of Paris, through Operation Barbarossa, and down to the North African front. The chart provides map screenshots for each scenario, along with summary details about the operation and initial conditions, giving players a preview of the challenges ahead. Text sections also briefly outline the historical context for these major campaigns. Look out for the secret areas, indicating hidden or unlockable content within the game's campaign mode.